Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. No, this isn't a repeat video. We have a different restraining order issue in Bachelor Nation. This on Golden Bachelorette. There are some rumors out there, sources saying that they're going to be editing Gil out of the show after it was released, what was said about him, and also the restraining order that did come out. I know we are in the heels of a restraining order issue with Devin, who had a temporary restraining order placed on him, and then some sort of joint restraining order that he and his ex had against each other. We've covered that separately. You probably checked that video out. But with this case in Devin, everyone's saying, how could you let this happen? Well, with the Golden Bachelorette, a little bit different, because they're saying the restraining order that came in happened after the background check. So I'm going to read what was said, and then I'm going to share this comment, which when I just had this comment, I didn't want to make the video because I had not vetted who the comment was from. But now that this is like a full-blown investigation, we can talk about it. Golden Bachelorette ran clear background check on contestant Gil before ex's temporary restraining order. Oh, congratulations to the producers. This isn't your fault. The Devin thing was. A source tells People that this filing occurred in the brief period between completion of our thorough background investigation and the beginning of production. Oh, how nice. How nice the producers can so quickly share that it's not their fault. But when it may have been their fault, they are like, well, we're going to have to see, and what, well, who knows? Crickets. So, hey, that's how it works, right? Golden Bachelorette contestant Gil Ramirez past has been revealed. People obtained documents alleging Ramirez has a past of stalking, with an ex-girlfriend filing a temporary restraining order against him just 3 months ago. According to a court filing dated June 11th, which a source close to the show says was just days before production began, a woman who claimed to have been dating Ramirez was granted a temporary restraining order citing harassment emotional. Despite telling him to not contact me, come to my house, he made repeated unwanted contact with me, family members, and friends. Yeah, that's how, yeah, you have to tell someone first, don't contact me. And then when they overstep that, then you obviously have to go, and get the courts involved. She claimed in the request for a DV restraining order, although she clarified she had not been physically injured by Ramirez. 25 attempts daily via phone, text, video. Although lives an hour away, showed up at places I frequent to confront me on a daily basis. The woman noted at the time that the alleged harassment had been going on for a 2-week period thus far. She requested Ramirez not contact her and stay away from her home, her workplace, her vehicle, and her children's school. A judge, because you can't really, I think as far as restraining orders go, you can't, you have to be reasonable. You can't be like, and don't go to the Grove. Like, you have to be like, okay, don't go where I frequent. Lay off of my territory, On July 2nd, the hearing was postponed as the order was unable to be served to Ramirez. Because of this, documentation from the court shows the hearing was set to take place on July 24th, and the temporary restraining order was continued. So again, as we covered before, a temporary restraining order is the judge giving the benefit of the doubt. The judge is saying, knock it off. Quit talking, quit communicating for the next month, and that'll give us time to do a reasonable hearing where you get to share your side of why you need this restraining order. And in most cases, I'm sure it's granted. But that's just the fair way of saying, okay, you're not losing your rights, you're losing your right to talk to the other person. And it's like, hello, take a hint. If someone ever has to get a restraining order against someone else, take the hint. But this is the system that's in place to protect people, right? A source close to the Golden Bachelorette tells People that this filing occurred in the brief period between completion of our thorough background investigation and exhaustive vetting process and the beginning of production. And at this point, this is where I do the air jerk off. Oh, fuck you. They couldn't even find the restraining order from Devin. My pal Reality Steve paid $25 tax deductible for his business and was able to expose that clown. The insider added that due to the, and it's like, by all means, like, bloviate as much as you want, but not days after you dropped the ball and put your lead in harm's way. Talking about the standard Bachelorette Jen Tran. They put her in a tough spot. The insider added that due to the information coming out, the show has further edited his already limited screen time and minimized him in promotional assets moving forward. So I guess this guy wasn't even a main character as far as the show goes. Maybe he wasn't going to make it that far along, but either way, they're like, we're gonna go tighter on the shot. So they have their edit. It's a 3-shot, and they just zoom in right past him. I mean, at some point, just artificial intelligence, you can just say blur out Gil, and then it just like they turn him into like a Jesse Palmer type or whatever. Ramirez appeared on night 1 of Jones' season of The Golden Bachelorette, which aired on Wednesday, September 18th. According to his profile, he's a 60-year-old educator from Mission Viejo, California. Well, hopefully he's educated on the court system, which means leave this lady alone. He received a rose at the end of the episode and will be continuing to next week on the show. So I don't even know which one he is, forgettable looking. So here's his face there. And again, you go, oh, could there be more to the story? I mean, when someone says they don't want to be with you, you got to take them at their word for it, that they don't what's the old book? She's just not that into you. So then Golden, let's see, IMDb here shared that they're going to be cutting his time. And again, it's probably, I'm assuming he wasn't getting a one-on-one date, so it should be pretty easy for them to cut him out. And to be quite honest, I'm in the camp of like, it wasn't, sure, cut him out if you can, but also like, what can you do? You know what I mean? So I guess that's good on them for taking that and, for trying to do that. So here we have the daughter, and this was kind of a tough thumbnail to make. Show will edit him out. Here we have the daughter, not the daughter of Joan, the daughter of the lady who got the restraining order. And here's what she had to say. This of course was said days ago before all this news came out. This is probably what broke the story and had people look into it. I know Gil Ramirez. During the taping of the show, he was relentlessly stalking my mom, his former girlfriend of 3.5 years, which led to a restraining order being served against him. While still dating my mom, Gil was secretly interviewing and cast for the Golden Bachelorette without her knowledge, all while telling her he planned to propose. Their relationship ended in May after he was caught cheating, and since then, he has continued to harass her throughout the show's production. He is scheduled for a court hearing in October where he will face a 5-year restraining order. Letting him remain on the show would send a dangerous message that this kind of behavior is acceptable to him in future Golden Bachelors. Okay, no, I agree. Look, I agree. Edit him out if you can, but at the same time, I understand how the producers didn't know about this because, it's like, I get they conduct a background search, but they probably did the background search, I don't know, a month before filming started, and you just kind of have to hope in that period this person doesn't do what they did. So wild stuff indeed. I mean, look, how many restraining orders have we talked about on the show? Colton Underwood, the original one, as far as since I've been covering this, and then we went several years with nothing. Then Clayton Echard, but again, not to put Clayton Echard in the same pool as these other restraining orders. Clayton Echard received one fraudulently from somebody who was trying to overpower him and punish him for not wanting to date her. Now you might say, Dave, why do you know that? Well, because we've covered it ad nauseum to the point where prosecutors in Maricopa County are investigating Laura Owens, the lady and podcaster, quasi if you ask me, who got the restraining order against Clayton Echard and Mike Maricini and Greg Gillespie, and try to get one against your boy Dave Neal. Luckily, the Los Angeles Superior Court denied her request for a restraining order against me because, you know why? I never met her before. And believe it or not, in the great United States of America, you can't get a restraining order against someone because you don't like their opinion. And I learned that, I want to say the hard way, but, I learned my rights. And while it sucked to find out she was trying to serve me. And why do I bring this up? Well, because, in most cases, in this case, 3 out of the 4 restraining orders we're talking about seem to have merit. But, every once in a while, people will try to use and weaponize the system against others. That's fraudulent. It's an abuse of the system. And, the judges, they're in place to try to prevent that. That's why they have the hearing. And that's why the judges, and it's a sad thing that the tax money of Los Angeles County had to go to a judge reading the documents said about me, going, wait, you never met this guy? And he's a YouTuber? And he's calling you out because you did all this stuff? Let's just reject this on First Amendment grounds. How nice. Now, in these cases, These aren't restraining orders against journalists and YouTubers and things like that. These are restraining orders against guys that are tormenting them. And the burden of proof is probably pretty low to get one. You go, look, he showed up here. I asked him not to. He's showing up in my workplace. Sadly, these laws exist because in the past and currently people torment others. We hear stories of people that get restraining orders and then it's not enough. By the time the restraining order took effect, they already, in some cases, had the worst thing happen, like, get murdered, because crazy people exist and relationships, when they end, bring out the craziest of the crazy people. And it's really sad and scary. So for this daughter to be brave enough, and that's what it is. This is bravery, to share this and put her name out there and share that to protect her mom. That is a badass woman right there. That is a strong woman to do that. So whoever she is, wherever she is, if you're reading this, my hat is, my cap is tipped off to you for protecting your family. So often we look at parents and it's like their job's to protect their kids. And then eventually the kids get old enough where they then protect the parents. And if there's anything we can do, because I know this is ongoing, from Bachelor Nation, send me a DM. And if there's anything we can do to help the case, if you need some legal funds and we can help promote that, just let us know. But we want to make sure that your mom is protected and that any of this sort of, info that's coming out here, as triggering as it might be, that Bachelor Nation has your back. And we do. So anyway, that's your update there from Joan. I read a report that the ratings were very low, abysmal, for her premiere, which was on a Wednesday, competing against Survivor and, whatever else, not on its normal night. I have to say this. Ratings don't matter that much to me when you make a quality product. People will find it. If you haven't watched Golden Bachelorette, I'd carve out some time. It's a good story so far. Like they did the best they could, which I don't want to call it a 10 out of 10, but it's a high 9 out of 10. It's a high 9 out of 10 for a premiere episode of a show. And whether it got initial ratings or not in the year 2024, people talk, I'm talking, and I'm saying, go check this out. And I don't say that about every season. You know that. You got my word there, folks. You won't be disappointed. Maybe bring your Kleenex, your tissues, because it's a sad one. But that's the Golden Bachelorette, right? That's why the show's successful. At least the Golden Bachelor was, because there is a sad story, but there is a silver lining, which is continuing to pursue love after loss. So I would check it out if I were you. Carve out that time this weekend. That's going to be it for me. If you want more content, I will continue to be chatting about Bachelor, other entertainment news stories. We got P. Diddy's in jail. I'm keeping you updated on the Clayton story. J-Lo and Ben Affleck are going to their kids' student-teacher conference. I got it all, baby. Right there. Scan that with your camera or just search Dave Neal where you listen to podcasts, and you can get that audio free every day, twice a day, and a special Q&A coming to you tomorrow for the weekend. All right. That's it for me. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll catch you later.